Remember, this story contains everything that is on screen. I do have to read some sexual for plot reasons. So yeah, please do read what's on screen, because I will have to read it for lore and kind of that bullshit. I also forgot this has major manga spoilers. I'll be adding that hopefully next to all of this. So yeah, but thank you guys for listening to this, and please do be careful. Before I get on, I do apologize if I say any names wrong, but basically, hopefully I'll be able to say them right and not get them wrong. So let's hope. The Rise of a Phoenix. In the yard of the butterfly estate, the hair-colored girl jumped back and forth. In one hand, there were tiny needles placed between her fingers. In the other hand, an orange katana that was grasped tightly. Flipping backwards, the girl inhaled before abruptly releasing the needles. Thunk. All at once, the needles pressed into a wooden dummy, each at a pressure point. The girl continued to maneuver the katana towards the wooden figure. Right before the blade had cut the neck of the dummy, the hair-colored girl stopped her sword less than an inch away. Breathing heavily, the girl slowly lowered her sword. Once her breathing evened, a wide smile spread across her face from a breath her painted mask. I finally mastered it, Yin grinned. Months have passed since she had learned from Maiko and Shinobu. Every day, even between missions, the girl would wake up and at the crack of dawn to practice needle throwing. After breakfast, she'd learn poison making with Shinobu, and after lunch, she would practice her own breathing style. Yin would also occasionally find Mitsuri to spar with, who would always admit defeat a bit too easy. However, that day was the first time she was able to execute every form perfectly, back to back. A lot of pride swirled within her as the girl sheathed her sword and received the needles. A crow began to cry around her head. Squawk! New mission! Head south! Head south! Little children have been missing in Hiyoshi village. Yin looked up at the crow. Anti-proxenated, I think, spreading. From the information gathered, though, the townspeople, Yin knew that a demon had to be in the building in front of her. The building was an old school that looked to be on a verge of collapsing. Part of the roof had already sunken in. A large crack were seen spreading across the building's base. From the prickly feeling in her gut, Yin knew there was a demon present. The girl looked towards the sky painted orange and knew she had to be quick. Swiftly, the girl bust down the door. Dust sprung up from where she had landed. Intrusion led her to make a left and end of the hall. She ran forwards, but just as she was about to turn, a clawed hand came crashing towards her. At the last second, Yin pulled her head back, narrowly avoiding the demon's attack. Yin flipped back, retreating a distance away to fully access her opponent. The demon in front of her had a long, flowing red hair and a set of cold gray eyes. If it weren't for the demon's cracked lips and bloody teeth, Yin would have said that she was beautiful. However, those features were what caught Yin's attention the most. It was kanji written on the demon's left eye. Lower moon 2. Yin felt her heart drop. She had only heard rumors of the 12 Kitsuki. Her first time coming across one of them was not only by herself, but it happened to be the second highest lower moon. The girl tightened her hands against her needles and katana. Not waiting for the demon to attack, she quickly released her needles. As expected, the demon blocked the needles, sending them down to a piece on the floor. Breath of the Phoenix, first form. I think it's Karakona Suma. She did not pause, immediately rushing forward. She slashed at the demon. The demon roared in pain, quickly panicking, extending an arm to throw her away. The arm crashed onto her stomach, knocking the wind out of her and sending her flying. In the air, Yin maneuvered her body to land upright. Her feet sinking. As she landed, the demon began her own attacks, barely catching her breath. The girl began to defend. Breath of the Phoenix, third form. Mior no O. As multiple arms came to attack her, she used speed and motion to deflect each attack. Each block she did lightly cut the demon's skin, and the demon grew more frustrated, trying hard to land a hit on the girl. That split second of emotion was enough for Yin. Breath of the Phoenix, second form. Akahona. While using one hand to deflect the arms, the other grabbing another needle. In a flash, the girl used a needle to quickly prick pressure points on the body of the demon. The demon couldn't feel the thin needles, continuing to use her arms to try and attack her. Demon Slayer art. Paper doll. All of a sudden, humanoid figures emerged from behind the woman. The figures rushed towards the hair-colored girl, multiplying her opponents. Yin did not spare any time, only narrowly avoiding all the attacks while looking for an opening on the main body. As the fight went on, a few of the figures began to crumble, confusing the demon. For some reason, the demon was feeling weak. Looking down at her torso, she noticed small dots littering her body, a dark purple hue spreading from the wounds. The distraction had caused the perfect opening. Breath of the Phoenix, fifth form. Shira Tatsuba. When the demon looked up, Yin was no longer in her sight. The hair-colored girl constantly landed in the demon's blind spot, effectively hiding in plain sight. Taking this chance, she surged forwards. The girl spun and swung the katana right at the demon's neck. The katana slid through, slicing her neck like butter. How? The demon's pupils shook, seeing her own headless body. A tear slipped down the corner of her eye. As her body began to disappear. My students. Having finally defeated the demon, Yin collapsed. Her heart was beating at an insane rate, a bit too high to be normal. Crack. Under the strain of her fight, the rest of the building had begun to collapse. However, Yin had yet to scout for any survivors. The girl quickly flew every room. Each room was empty, except for the last classroom to be left on the hall. Bursting in, she came across several tied-up children. Each child sat tied in their seats, facing the board. If it weren't for the ropes or the crying children, it would have looked like a real classroom. With no time left, she grabbed the kids and burst through the thin wall of the building. They all landed in a heap outside. A sharp pain shot through her arm under the pressure of the kids. Despite the pain, Yin felt lucky that she was able to feel at all. She closed her eyes, happy to be able to live another day. Yin stood beside the Orboshiki as he introduced her to the people standing in front of her. After defeating a 12 Kizuki single-handedly using her own breathing style, I'd like you to welcome the Phoenix Pillar. A small round of applause erupted from the room. Mitsuri and Shinobu clapped extra loudly. Everyone, meet Yin Lin. To the others began to introduce themselves to the newly added, while the hair-colored girl tried to maintain proper distance. At the humorous occasion, no one had noticed the maroon eyes that stood as they stared at the masked girl. So if you had noticed, I will try my best to have this every day instead of weekly, because this is a long book, approximately 4 hours long. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye, my lovelies.